don't you get tired of losing? Because Gus was running for president on the Communist Party ticket. And Gus turned to him and he said, JP, what makes you think we're losing? He said, we've implemented every plank of the Communist Manifesto. We just haven't got the guns from the people yet. And JP turned to him and said, yeah, and you ain't going to get them from the people. What do you think of that? Well, folks, what do you think of that? They're working on it, aren't they? Huh? Now, you're going to go to court and you're going to be your own attorney. You got to be sharp. You got to keep records. You go to court, you write it down. You get anything in paperwork, you write it down. You send them anything in paperwork, you write it down. You got me? You don't be screwing around on me, because I'm going to tell you some of these things got dates and times and things that you got to do. And if you don't take care of business, guess what? They ain't going to take care of it for you. You're your own attorney. If you want to be your own attorney, you got to have records. You got to keep on top of things. So every time you do something, you write it down. And you make sure you can go back and say, yeah, I remember on such and such a date at such and such a time this happened and this happened and this happened. You can construct a chronological order of events, okay? Now, also write down all important numbers to anybody that has anything that's got to be done. Okay, now, what we want to get into is we want to get into some serious arguments on taxes. Okay? Well, also, we should tell you that if anybody violates your rights, okay, Title 42 United States Code, Section 1983. Everybody got this? Can you see it? Every person who, under color of statute, ordinance, or regulation, custom or usage of any state or territory, or the District of Columbia, subjects, or causes to be subjected, any citizen of the United States or other person within the jurisdiction thereof, to the deprivation of any rights, privileges, or immunities secured by the Constitution and the laws, shall be liable to the party injured in an action at law, suit in equity, or other proper proceeding for the redress, for the purpose of this section, any act of Congress applicable exclusively to the District of Columbia. Why do you think they said that? Because they're members of the fund. And they are under Title 26, Section 6331A. Shall be considered to be a statute of the District of Columbia. Now, does everybody understand about Admiralty and Maritime Jurisdiction? I know you don't, but not a little bit. They have created a duality of citizenship under the 14th Amendment. They're claiming there's common law rights, which everybody gets their Constitution, and there's national rights where you waive all your Constitution. Now, which did you want? Does that sound like a good deal? Sounds like you're being ripped to me. Here we got the 1-207. Remember, 1-207, right? All right, now. Okay. Where are we at here? We want to show Jack McLamb's magnificent books too. Vampire Killer 2000 and the Aid and Abet newsletter. We need to get these out to every police officer in the United States of America. They need to understand what the heck's going on here. You get a hold of Jack McLam and his people at Vampire Killer 2000 and they will be happy to put this book out. This explains to your police officers exactly what the heck's going on. And they have an Aid and Abet newsletter that you can get. Let's get that out. Aid and Abet. Aid and Abet Police Newsletter, P.O. Box 8787, Phoenix, Arizona, 85066, right? And he has a phone number you can call him too, I think. Now, they have these vampire killers out and it tells the police everything they need to know. Also, they publish a newsletter, Aid and Abet newsletter. You want to make sure, Aid and Abet, okay? And get that to your police officers. What I like to do is when a police officer busts me for something, what I like to do is I like to enroll him in a free subscription. And you know what? He hands it out to everybody. Plus I'm doing him a service. Now if you folks don't think this is serious, I'm telling you right now, they are building these work camps, these multi-jurisdictional forces and these work camps all over. Notice that most of them are coordinated between Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, and Wisconsin. And then they got a bunch more out here in the Wyoming, Idaho,
Great West.
the Great West, and they got them in California. Then they got these detention facilities. Everybody paying attention to these detention facilities? Notice where most of them are, and what they call them is regional prisons. Look at all the ones here in Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio, or Illinois.
There's a bunch of new ones since then, too.
Yeah, there is. I know there is. They prop up and they call themselves... Okay, and then they got battle groups, United Nations battle groups. I mean, we've had reports of Russian troops being in Michigan all summer. And we got positive sightings by people that are retired military colonels and above. And we know they were at Camp Grayling this summer. So I'm telling you folks, the time to wake up is now. Wake up, America, before it's too late. Before you lose your God-given rights to some foreign potentate. You might think that you look like a sucker. I mean, you want to buy any apples off that cart? I ain't buying no apples off that cart because I know they're all rotten. Okay? Now, we want to get into...
Militia?
The next thing we want to get into is the militia, right? And then we want to get into taxes seriously. And that'll be the close for today. Now, those of you who have been in militia groups and everybody's getting all panicky, let's understand a few things about the militia. Whether you like it or not, you are in the militia in the state of Michigan. And I will tell you right where it says that. Article 17, militia, right here. What does it say? And this is from the 1850 Constitution, all the way back in our state to the Northwest Territories treaty, they have a militia. But this is an example of what they're talking about. The militia shall be composed of all able-bodied male citizens between the ages of 18 and 45 years, except such as are exempted by laws of the United States and of the state, but all such citizens of any religious denomination whatever who from scruples of conscience, all right? In other words, if you're a conscientious objector, may be adverse to bearing arms, shall be excused therefrom upon such conditions as shall be prescribed by law. And they have conscientious objector statuses, okay? Then you go to the 1908 Constitution, just to show you that this is the God's truth here. 1908 Michigan Constitution. The Michigan militia shall be composed of all able-bodied male citizens between the ages of 18 and 45 years of age, except such as are exempted by laws of the United States or of this state. But all such citizens of any religious denomination who, from scruples of conscience, may be adverse to bearing arms, shall be excused therefrom upon such conditions as shall be prescribed by law. Okay? Now, that's the 1908 Constitution. Now you come up here, now this just lets you know the trend here. Now, we're in the 1963 Constitution, and in the 1963 Constitution, I wanted to show you a little diverse thing here. This right here. Common law and statutes and continuance in Michigan. The common law and the statute laws now in force, not repugnant to this Constitution, shall remain in force until they expire by their own limitations or are changed, amended, or repealed. So the common law is prevailing. The militia, here we go. I knew we'd seen it. Now notice, folks, as the thing goes on, it gets shorter and shorter. Here's your militia. This is Article 3, Section 4. The militia shall be organized, equipped, and disciplined as provided by law. That's all you get now. Now, when you look in the beginning of this Constitution, there is a empowering statutory phrase that says, all constitutions before, everything they had in them are carried forward to this Constitution. And that's how they're allowed to do this. So, what would happen in this case, because they haven't clearly defined it here, they would have to go back in the law to the previous Constitution, which would be the 1908 Constitution, which we just read to you. Well, this one right here. So this one would be the militia shall be composed of all able-bodied male citizens 18 to 45 years of age. So that would be the controlling one, because that's as prescribed by law, just like they said. Does everybody see that? Now, the bottom line here, folks, is a lot of people are all upset about the militia. All the militia is concerned citizens that are worried about their Constitution getting flushed down the toilet. We're